Welcome back to Just Say It, the English podcast for beginners and everyday learners. In today's episode, we're out and about and learning how to ask for and give directions in English. From go straight to it's next to the bank, we'll teach you what to say and how to say it. Ready? Let's begin. And as we begin this deep dive, let's really get into it. Not just the phrases, but, the whole experience of finding your way. Think about that feeling, right? You're somewhere new. Maybe your phone's just died. Ugh, the worst. And you're trying to find, a decent coffee place or maybe just the nearest toilet or some big landmark. That feeling of being completely turned around, a bit lost, it's pretty universal, isn't it? Anyone who's traveled or moved knows it. But there's more going on than just not knowing the way, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's much more than just a simple exchange of information. When we dig into it, asking for or giving directions taps into some really fundamental stuff about how we perceive space, how we communicate, even cultural norms.
Right.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. So our mission today, really, in this deep dive, is to give you the tools, not just a list of phrases, but a deeper sense of how it all works. Why some ways of asking work better, how we process directions, what makes someone good at explaining. We want you to feel, confident, whether you're the one asking or the one helping out.
Exactly. And what's really interesting, I think, is that even now, with all this tech, Google Maps on our phones, GPS everywhere, this basic skill of talking about directions in English, it's still incredibly valuable. It's not just about, getting from A to B. It's about actual human connection.
Yeah.
It's practicing English in a real immediate situation. You need it right then and there.
Yeah, it's very practical.
It really is. And it connects to that sort of basic human need to know where we are, to orient ourselves.
So why is it often so tricky for English learners? I mean, you learn turn left in class, but...
That's the gap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Textbooks teach the clean phrases. But real life,
Yeah.
It's messy. You get fast speech, maybe slang, someone uses a landmark you've never heard of.
Or they talk super fast.
Exactly. It's a whole different skill set, understanding spoken directions on the fly. So yeah, this deep dive isn't just about the words. It's about decoding those real-world conversations, understanding the patterns, the potential mix-ups, moving beyond just memorizing.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. You're lost. You need to ask someone. You mentioned politeness is key. Why is it so important here? More than just manners.
Definitely more than just manners.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're stopping someone, interrupting their day, asking for their help. Research in pragmatics shows that politeness here isn't just being nice. It's actually a communication strategy. It kind of lowers the barrier for the other person.
Makes them more willing to help.
Precisely. It shows you respect their time and space.
Yeah.
That simple, it's not just noise. It's doing real social work. It smooths the interaction right from the start.
Okay.
And this politeness carries through to how you actually phrase the request. You don't want to sound demanding. So phrases like, hello, can you help me please, work really well. It frames it as needing help, not demanding info. Or, good morning, may I ask for some help? Using may sounds quite respectful. Even just, excuse me, could you help? It's concise, but polite. These aren't just empty words. They set the stage, make the listener more receptive before you even say where you want to go. It's foundational.
That makes sense. And you touched on direct versus indirect questions before. Asking is one thing, but understanding the answer, that's the other half, right? But let's stick with asking for a second. How exactly do those indirect questions work grammatically to sound more polite?
Yeah, it's a subtle shift, but it makes a big difference in how it feels. So a direct question like, where is the Gershwin Theater, is perfectly clear, grammatically fine. But particularly in places like the U.S. or Canada, it can sometimes feel a little abrupt, a bit demanding maybe.
Yeah.
Like you're expecting the information right now.
Okay, I can see that.
So the indirect forms are often preferred. They wrap the question in a softer layer. The grammar trick is usually embedding the question and shifting the verb. Instead of, where's the post office? Yes. You say, can you tell me where the post office is, please? See? The is moves to the end.
Oh.
Or, do you know where the museum is? Same thing. Is goes to the end. It changes the focus slightly. You're asking about their knowledge or ability to tell you, which feels more respectful than just demanding the location itself.
Got it. So it's less like an order.
Exactly. And then you can get more specific, depending on what you need. If it's just any supermarket, you might ask, is there a supermarket near here? If you need something specific like an ATM, where can I find a cash point? Or the classic, do you know where the nearest public toilet is? Still polite, but very specific about the function you need.
Right, right. Okay, so we've approached politely, we've asked carefully, but what if you're not totally lost? Maybe you just need to check you're going the right way or find the quickest way.
Good point. That's a common situation. You're not starting from scratch. So if you think you're on the right path, you can phrase it like a hypothesis they can confirm or deny. Like, I'm looking for Henderson Road. Am I going the right way? Simple yes, no, or a quick correction is needed.
Okay.
Or, are we on the right road to the city center? Same idea. Is this the right way to the mall? You're just seeking validation.
Makes sense.
And if you want the best route, quickest, easiest, whatever, then you ask something like, what's the best way to get to the airport? That signals you're looking for advice, an optimized route, not just any route. Useful in busy cities or if you're short on time.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, don't forget the practical questions about time and distance. Super important for planning. You need to know, how long will it take to walk there? You might get an answer like, oh, less than 10 minutes. Or you need to know the distance. How far is it? Or just, is it far?
And the answer could be specific, like about 20 miles.
Exactly. Or more vague but reassuring, nah, it's not far, maybe 200 yards. Or even just, is it close? Helps you decide if it's worth the trip if you have time. It makes the abstract location practical.
Okay, fantastic. So asking is covered. Now let's flip it. Understanding the answer. This feels like where a lot of learners might struggle. You need the right vocabulary, right?
Absolutely. You can ask perfectly, but if the answer is full of words you don't know, you're still stuck. So yeah, the basic vocabulary for places is essential.
The obvious ones. Bank, theater, cinema, hospital, gas station.
Right. Library, grocery store, shopping mall, bakery, laundromat.
Bus stop, parking lot.
Post office, museum, subway or underground station, airport, hotel, restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those common city spots. You need those nouns.
But it's more than just the nouns, isn't it? It's how they relate to each other.
That's the crucial next step. It's the prepositions, those small but mighty words that tell you where things are in relation to each other. That's where the real spatial understanding comes in.
Prepositions of place.
Exactly. And these describe a static location where something is, not where it's going. Understanding these is, well, it's everything for directions. Let's break a few down.
Yeah.
Across from, it means directly opposite, usually with a street or space in between. The bus stop is across from the library. Clear visual line.
Got it.
Around the corner from, means very close, just a short turn away. The bank is around the corner from the theater. Quick change of direction needed. At is for a specific address, precise. The bank is at 123 Main Street.
Okay.
Behind, at the back, maybe hidden. The parking lot is behind the bakery. Between this one usually needs 2 reference points. It's almost always between X and Y. The bank is between the grocery store and the bakery. You need to spot both boundaries.
Right, like bookends.
Exactly. Then you have far from, near, close to. Near and close to. I mean, not far. Near can be a bit vague sometimes, like, is the museum near here? Could mean a few blocks. In front of usually means the main side, the entrance side.
Yeah.
My office building is in front of the mall. Now, a fun one. Kitty corner to. Hear this sometimes, especially in North America. It means diagonally opposite at an intersection. Imagine a crossroads. It's the corner opposite yours across the diagonal.
Ah, okay. I've heard that, but wasn't totally sure.
It's quite specific.
Okay.
Then next to or beside. They mean the same thing right alongside, no space in between. The cinema is next to the bank.
Simple enough.
On-side is for when something is located along a street. The bank is on Main Street. And if it's right at the junction of 2 streets, it's on the corner of. The bakery is on the corner of Main Street and Summer Avenue.
Okay.
And opposite, or the other side, similar to across from, maybe slightly less emphasis on seeing it directly, it's across the street from Jack's Bar. And you'll notice a very common pattern. The place is preposition the other place. Recognizing that structure helps you process the information faster.
That structure thing is really helpful. Okay, so besides these prepositions, what about things like distance? You mentioned blocks earlier.
Yes. This is where culture and city layout really matter.
Yeah.
In many North American cities with grid patterns, blocks are the standard unit. A block is just, the distance between 2 streets.
Right.
So you'll hear, walk 4.5 blocks up 7th Avenue. And interestingly, how people say it matters too. 4.5 often gets squished into 4.5.
4.5. Okay.
Yeah, just natural speech compression. But this whole block system is very different from other places. I read this fascinating study about Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah.
Where people might use meters, like 100 meters west. Or, even cooler, they might reference landmarks that aren't even there anymore.
What? Like ghosts.
Sort of. Like go 100 meters past where the old fig tree used to be, even if the tree's been gone for 20 years. It's like
Wow.
they navigate using this shared mental map, this collective memory, almost like an inbuilt compass, this
Mhm.
study called it. Very different from relying on street signs and blocks.
Wow, that's amazing. An inbuilt compass.
Yeah. And speaking of compasses, cardinal directions, northeast, southwest, are super important too, especially in those grid cities.
Like go north on Fifth Avenue.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Head east on 8th Street.
Yeah.
If you can figure out which way is north when you arrive somewhere new, it makes everything else much easier to understand. It gives you that absolute reference point.
Right, you get oriented.
And you can use them for more precision at corners too. It's on the northwest side of the intersection. Tells you exactly which corner.
Hmm.
So we combine these absolute directions with relative ones like left and right.
Okay, this is making a lot more sense. So we can hopefully understand the where using prepositions and landmarks. Now, how do we actually give the directions effectively, telling someone else what to do?
Right. This is where we use imperatives. That's the grammatical term.
Imperatives. Sounds a bit bossy.
Huh. It can sound that way, but in directions, it's just the standard, most efficient way to tell someone what actions to take. It's not rude, it's just direct and clear. The structure is simple. Just the verb plus details, turn left, go straight. The you is implied, left out, which makes it quick and easy to follow.
So what are the key verbs we need?
Well, there are a few core ones for movement, walking, or driving. Go and head are probably the most common, very versatile. Go straight, or head straight on, or head ahead. Oh, keep going the same way, don't turn.
Okay.
Go along this road means follow the road. Go through the tunnel. Simple. Walk is obviously for walking. Walk 4 blocks. Walk along Main Street.
Makes sense.
Follow is really useful, especially if the road winds or curves, but you need to stay on it. Follow this street until you see the big church. It tells you to stick to that path.
Ah, good for non-grid cities.
Exactly. Then the classic, turn, absolutely essential. Turn left on 51st Street. You often combine it with a reference point.
Right.
Turn right at the traffic lights. Or at the crossroads, at the corner, at the stop sign.
Using at for the turning point.
Yes. And you could use cardinal directions too. Turn eastward. Make is often used like turn, especially in driving. Make a right onto Santa Clara. You might also hear the negative for clarification. Don't make a right there, make the next right.
Good tip.
Take is common too, especially for numbered options or exits. Take the second right. Or if you're at a roundabout, take the first exit. Very common for driving.
Right.
Continue means keep going on the same path for a while. Continue straight on. Continue on Broadway for about 2 miles. Go past means see something and keep going beyond it. Go past the cinema and it's on your left. And cross means move from one side to the other. Cross the street, go across the park.
Okay, lots of verbs there. What about up and down? You mentioned that can be tricky.
Yeah, it can be context dependent.
Yeah.
Sometimes it literally means higher or lower elevation, go down the hill. But often, especially in grid cities, up might mean north and down might mean south. Or it could just mean further along the street based on local convention. Head up Fifth Avenue might mean head north, or maybe just head towards the higher street numbers. You kind of have to pick it up from context sometimes.
Right. Need that local knowledge again.
Sometimes, yeah. And for public transport, there's a specific set. You take a bus or train line, take the blue line, take the number 3 bus. Remember, buses usually have numbers, lines often have names or colors.
Okay.
You get off at a specific stop, get off at 83rd Street, and you change to another line for transfers. Change to the gray line at Andrews Square. And a really helpful thing when giving public transport directions is saying how many stops. It's 3 stops from here. That helps the person track their progress, especially if they can't see signs easily.
Oh, that's a great practical tip.
It really is. And don't forget landmarks. People navigate by landmarks naturally. Big buildings, parks, bridges, monuments, anything easy to spot. You use them as anchors in the directions. When you get to the big clock tower, turn left. Go straight until you see the park then.
And that phrase, you can't miss it.
Ah, yes. Classic. It means the place is really obvious, large, or distinctive. It's meant to be reassuring, like, don't worry, it'll be clear when you get there.
Yeah.
Reduces anxiety.
Yeah, I like hearing that one.
And finally, pinpointing the exact spot relative to the last landmark. It's on your left, it's on your right, you'll see it right in front of you, it's on the other side of the road, or just, it'll be right there, guiding their eyes to the final spot.
Okay, fantastic. So we've got the theory, the vocabulary, the grammar. Now let's see it in action. How does this actually play out in real conversations? Let's walk through some scenarios.
Perfect. Because seeing it used is where it really clicks. Let's look at some examples from studies and transcripts. First, walking in a grid city, like New York. Susan and Mike asking for the Gershwin Theater. Susan starts, "Excuse me, where is the Gershwin Theater?" Polite opener. The agent replies using the grid references. "It's on 51st Street, between 7th and 8th Avenues."
Okay, typical NYC.
Exactly. Mike asks how. "How do we get there from here?" Agent uses blocks. "Walk 4.5 blocks up 7th Avenue, turn left on 51st Street, and it'll be right there." Concise. Then there's that interesting side comment from Mike about the agent seeming busy. Don't let it bother you. Real-world social nuance.
Yeah, managing the interaction.
And Susan confirms her starting point. Is this 7th Avenue? And asks about time. How long will it take? Agent. Less than 10 minutes. It shows that back and forth of confirming and getting practical details.
Good example. What about public transport?
Right. John and Linda, talking about Sampsons & Co.
Yeah.
John asks, Linda first clarifies how he's traveling. Are you driving or taking the subway? Crucial first step.
Makes sense. Driving directions are different.
Totally. John says subway. Linda gives the instructions. Take the blue line from 14th Ave and change to the gray line at Andrews Square. Get off at 83rd Street. All the key subway verbs. John then says, just a minute, let me write this down. Good strategy. Linda checks. Got it. And continues with walking directions from the station using landmarks. Go straight past the bank. Take the second left. It's across the street from Jack's Bar. John needs a repeat. Can you repeat that? Which Linda does. Shows the need for repetition and maybe highlights where asking how many stops would have been helpful too.
Okay. Driving over the phone, that sounds tricky.
It can be. Here's Doug helping Susan find a conference center. More complex route. Doug. Take a left onto Bethany Street. Drive to the freeway entrance. Take the freeway toward Portland. Susan asks about distance. How far is it? Doug estimates. About 20 miles. Then gives exit info. Freeway to exit 23. Take the exit and turn right onto Broadway at the stoplight.
Now, this is where you can get lost easily.
Yes. So Susan does something smart. Let me repeat that. Take the freeway to exit 23 and turn right onto Broadway. She confirms understanding immediately.
Ah, the feedback loop. Very important.
Crucial. Doug confirms that's right and gives the rest. Continue on Broadway for about 2 miles, turn left onto 16th Ave, take the second right into the conference center. Shows combining turns, distance, freeways, and that vital repetition check.
Okay. How about a simple walking one with a potential misunderstanding?
Good one. Exactly. And one more driving one. Local supermarket. Helen telling Tom, at the end of the street, take a right, then drive 2 miles to White Ave. Tom interrupts. Let me write this down. I won't remember it.
Ah, smart man.
So Helen adapts, breaks it down again. Okay. First, take a right, Tom confirms. Got it. Helen. Next, drive 2 miles to White Ave. Tom repeats. Helen. Take a left onto 14th Street. The supermarket is on the left, next to the bank. Tom asks about the final bit. How far is it after I turn onto 14th? Practical question, Helen. Not far, maybe about 200 yards. Shows combining turns, distance, and the helpfulness of writing things down and confirming each step.
And that police officer example.
Ah, yes, police officer helping a lost tourist find a hotel. Tourist starts politely. Excuse me, officer, I think I'm lost. Officer clarifies transport. Do you have a car? Tourist says no. Officer gives walking directions using landmarks. Go along this street until you get to the bank. Do you see the tall building? So if the traffic light's there, turn left, then go straight on, take the second right.
Second right this time.
But the tourist again misunderstands. Okay, I will take the second left. Officer corrects firmly but politely. No, it's the second right, repeats the key points. Yes, sir. Left at the traffic lights near the bank and then the second right. Tourist, got it. Officer finishes with that classic, you can't miss it.
Wow. These examples really show the common issues, mishearing turns, needing repetition, the value of landmarks and writing it down.
Absolutely. And they highlight strategies for both sides. The asker needs phrases like, let me write this down, can you repeat that? The giver needs to be ready to rephrase, break it down, maybe suggest asking again later. And that counterexample idea is great too. If you see the big red building, you've gone too far. It gives the listener a way to check themselves.
Okay, fantastic. We have covered so much. From asking politely, understanding prepositions and city layouts, to giving clear instructions using the right verbs and landmarks, and seeing it all in real scenarios. So pulling it all together. How do people really nail this skill? What are the final tips or common pitfalls to watch out for?
Well, thinking about common errors, sometimes learners mix up prepositions of direction, like to versus towards.
Oh, right. What's the difference again?
To implies you'll arrive at a specific destination. I'm going to the store. Towards to us just indicates the general direction, no guarantee of arrival. You walk towards the park. Subtle, but important for meaning.
God.
Another one is in versus into. In is for being static inside something. The keys are in my pocket. Into shows the movement from outside to inside. She walked into the room. Distinguishing place, static from direction. Movement is key.
Got it. So how do we practice effectively?
Several ways. First, visualize. Use maps, draw diagrams when you learn directions. Make it concrete, not just abstract words. Helps build that mental map.
Good idea.
Second, practice in context. Role play with friends. Give directions to your own house. Ask for directions to places you already know. Use it actively. Third, listen actively. Pay attention to native speakers in conversations, movies, podcasts. How do they really phrase things? Pick up those natural rhythms and phrases. Fourth, flashcards can be useful, but make them for phrases, not just single words. Practice both asking and giving. And fifth, maybe most important, embrace mistakes.
Don't be afraid to mess up.
Exactly. It's how you learn. Don't let fear stop you from trying. Every attempt helps.
And are there specific phrases learners can use to help themselves while getting directions, like conversational lifelines?
Yes, absolutely vital. Number one, could you speak slower, please? Polite, direct, incredibly helpful, gives you time to process.
Simple but effective.
Or adding context. Can you repeat that more slowly, please? I'm learning English. People are usually very understanding then. And don't be afraid to ask about specific words. Start, what does landmark name mean? Or how do you say that word again? Clarify anything you're unsure about. Take control of the information flow.
Those are brilliant practical tips. It really feels like mastering directions is about more than just the language. It's about confidence, independence, being able to explore without fear.
Totally. It unlocks so much real-world interaction and adventure. It makes traveling or even just living in a new place so much richer.
It really does. And, as we wrap up, it makes you think. With phones telling us exactly where to go turn by turn, are we maybe losing some of that innate ability to build our own mental maps to describe space ourselves? Something maybe to ponder as you head out today.
That's a really interesting thought. Food for thought, definitely.
Great job today. Now you know how to ask for and give directions in English, a must-have skill for real life. Don't forget to subscribe to Just Say It for more everyday English. And if you like this episode, share it or leave a comment. Where would you go if you were lost in a new city? See you next time.